Hey, welcome to Soaring in Faith. It's been a rough morning. I actually have a wonderful buddy of mine who is part of my social media community on another site, and we have been working hard all morning to get a recording up, and unfortunately it did not work out. And what I had planned to do was kind of bump a plan that I had aside so I could get her on and share some her testimony with you all and her plans and how things have been going for her. But it's not meant to work out today, so I'm going back with my original plan. And if you saw the last video, I brought a very dear friend of mine on by the name of John. He's also a mentor. And we had just a wonderful discussion. And during that discussion, maybe near the tail end of that discussion, I had mentioned my plans on sharing with you all about a question that my son asked me on Mother's Day. That actually brought me to tears, and I spent a great portion into the following week in tears because of the thoughts that crossed my mind, and also just realizing that there was more growth that needed to be done, more work. So I'll share that with you now. On Mother's Day, I had an amazing Mother's Day. Took off from doing some recording just to kind of focus on the family and myself. And it was actually the first time that me not having my mother on this earth, it really didn't bother me as much. It's like, and I felt like there was major growth in that too. I was like, okay, this is cool. It's not bothering me as much, because I felt like I had reached a point in my life to where I'm more at peace about her being gone and just more at peace about where I am in my life. So I went on about my day, went to church, came back, had the family over, huge dinner. We had a lot of fun, took pictures. And as it was time for me to prepare for bed, my 10-year-old son, he says, Mom, that had to have been pretty hard when you were younger. He said, so you had mentioned some time ago, because I talk to my kids about everything, and that's part of my parenting mission with them, is that I share things that I have gone through so that we can continue together to break the cycles. So, and I apologize if wind is getting in my microphone. It's been a weird day all day this morning, but it's going to get better. So, the question that he had for me was, I know that he said that had to have been pretty hard, to be spanked by your mom for not fighting back, not sticking up for yourself when the kids would pick on you and bully you. And I said, oh yeah, it was tough. He said, and then, your mom ended up spanking you because you were fighting too much. Yeah, she sure did. And we haven't discussed this in years. It's just something I made it a point to tell all my kids. I don't condone fighting. I don't condone violence for that very reason. But I make sure to let my kids know so that they think twice about parenting any other way, and then they also will continue to understand and know where their mom came from, what that's like. But it's all about breaking cycles. So he was in deep thought about that, and he said, yeah, I know that's hard, Mom. That had to be pretty confusing. Yes, it was. That's how I answered. So he said, I'm I'm going to ask you something. And he said, Mom, this may be pretty hard, but, I want to ask you to do something. And I'm like, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, I've gotten past all the hard stuff. There's not anything that should be very hard for me anymore. But one thing that he advised me to do was he asked me to share a fun moment during my childhood that I could remember with my mom. And I got quiet. And I was like, and I reminded myself of a time when I used to ask the youth on my caseload when I worked for the district attorney's office. There was a certain project or, a certain way that I would work with the kids. And I would always ask them to tell me 3 to 5 things that they loved about themselves or that they really admired. And a lot of them could not respond. And it always floored me because I thought, you are a beautiful soul. And so I used to run groups, and that was one of the questions. It was a project of mine that I always made sure to ask my kids and really encourage them to think about it. We all should have things that we like about ourselves. That moment that my son asked me brought me back to those days, thinking about how those kids were not able to answer that question. And it really made me think, because I thought I should have some knowledge or memory about the good times about my childhood. And it woke me up because I realized that so much of the negative stuff that happens to me has been clouding some of those good times that I need to be focusing on in order to continue to pound all of those negative thoughts and experiences down lower and lower and lower. So that Sunday I went to bed and I was like, Lord, how come I can't think of the good times? And I woke up Monday and I woke up Tuesday and I'm still thinking. And I probably could only think of one thing at a time. And that was pretty sad. But I did come up with like a handful of things that my mom did that really brought joy to me as a child, a kid. And I bring this up to let you know, or to encourage you all to replace so many of the negative thoughts with happy times. They're there. So I'll share those with you. But I bring this up also to let you know how important it is to think about those good times, because when I had that meeting with John and this came like resurfaced in my mind and thoughts, I was like, shoot, that's renting space in my head. And that was a deep, brief conversation that John and I had at the end of my session with him. And that's when I decided to share that with my viewers, because I feel like it's a helping tool so that we can all be more in touch with what's renting space in our head. Are they clouded with a lot of negative thoughts? Some of us have a right to think about those things, those thoughts, have those thoughts, because sometimes we have to reflect on them in order to continue to grow. But I also see the benefit of replacing those negative thoughts with the happy times. So I'm going to share a few of the happy times with you that came to mind. And it's sad that I only really thought of 5 to 7. My life wasn't perfect, but I do strive to create as happy of a life as possible now that I'm able to create and pave out my own journey, the journey of my future. So, Fun things that my mom did with me when I was a child that I still have memory about. One, she did this on several occasions and it was super fun, but she'd take us to City Park and there was a slight hill that she would allow us. She'd sit at the top of the hill and she would allow us to roll down the hill. And I would break out real bad because the grass, I was allergic to the grass. But what she would do is bring blankets and sheets for us to wrap up in. And when I say us, it was me and my sister. We'd wrap up in blankets and just roll down that hill. And oh, that was the time of my life. She would take us to feed ducks or geese, as they call. That was fun. She would take us to the circus. We did this annually. We didn't have a car when I was growing up. She had a car up until I was about 6 or 7 years old. The rest of the time we caught the bus. But we would catch the bus out to the North Glen Mall at the time. Out here in Colorado, we had a mall called the North Glen Mall. And we would go get hoagie sandwiches. And that usually would be on a Saturday, and she'd say, you want to wake up early and catch the bus and we'll go get hoagie sandwiches. That was fun. And the greatest thing, the greatest memory I had of being a child that topped everything that she did for me as a child, like Easter shopping, that was fun, Easter egg hunting, all that was cool. But the greatest time that I had was spending time with my cousin. I had a cousin whose mom passed when he was 4. He ended up growing up without his mom, and he and I are about 6.5 months apart. We're still very close to this day, just on different paths of growth in our life. But there were times that she arranged play dates, and my cousin would come over and he'd spend the weekend, and we would have a blast. It's like the only cousin that I really grew up with, the only cousin that I grew connected with, and the only cousin that I still remain in contact with. Sorry about the noise. I'm at a park full of kids, and they are having a great time. And it looks like a couple of kids are kind of running away too. So they're being captured. But anyway, so that's really where I am with that. And that's the greatest memory of my childhood is spending time with my cousin. And he's just he's an awesome young man. So I'm leaving that with you all because like I said, John and I had a very deep conversation about what we allow to rent space in our head. And if it helped me and brought me to deep thought about some things, I figured it would help some of you out there too. Be careful what you allow to rent space in your head, whether it be negative things, negative thoughts, dark memories. It's okay to have them so you can see where you grow, but don't allow them to cloud your mind, and especially rent that space in your mind for free. It's not worth it. So one practice that I've been working on over the past couple of weeks, or past week since I've met with John, is replacing a lot of the negativity from my past with the happy moments. And have been spending more time thinking about that, because it is more important to give more time and thought to happier times than the times that cause us to turn to ways of like times that might, that we give thought that might make us sad. But my mom's been gone since 2007, and I'm like, gosh, why not think of those great times? Sorry, my eyes have been watering because I'm out here in the sun. But why not? So I just share that with you, quick video. I also, I'll share this while I'm on. There was a booklet that I discussed about a little boy who was mistreated by his dad that really is called somebody loves me. And I don't have it with me today, but I did. I'm creating like hopefully a slide show video out of it, and I'll be able to post that up too, so that I can invite you all to see if you happen to tune in to that video that I made, that I recorded with John when we had a deep discussion about the lives of youth and the challenges and things like that that they go through. So much love to you all as always. I have a big day ahead of me. So just wanted to pop on and get a quick video in real quick and share my plans. I will go back to recording. I have a few more people lined up. And as far as the future in the summer, I'm all about family time. And I have some other things going on. So I will be taking clips from a lot of the content that I've shared in the past in order to keep my videos going. They're clips that I think would really hit the soul, cause you to think about some things. But like I said, I do have a few more people lined up to do videos, recordings. I may be stopping or coming to a halt like mid-June to the end of June in order to take the summer off and just become more absorbed within my family. And maybe those videos with the guests will be more sporadic, or I will plan again when the fall hits. But that is my plan for now, and just wanted to let you all know where I plan to soar with that. You all take care. Blessings to you, and until next time, God bless.